Okay, I think I'm going to go ahead and get started with the score slides since almost everybody's probably seen them before. So anyway, good evening to all of you and welcome. You will be getting a copy of the slides. Well, not a copy of the slides. You'll be getting a link to the recording tomorrow, which obviously includes the slides. I am Anita Kayat. I am a SCORE mentor for the last 10 years or so, and very happy to have Lindsay Sims again to do a presentation on online shopping, which I'm really excited about, and I hope you are too. So I am going to start off with a few slides about SCORE. And SCORE's mission, as it says here, is to foster vibrant small business communities. We do this through mentoring and education. We hope that each of you as a small business owner will have the support and resources that you need to be successful. So the Cleveland office of SCORE is one of over 250 chapters across the nation. We have subchapters all along Lake Erie, from Sandusky on the west to Ashtabula on the east. SCORE, in fact, is the very largest network of free volunteer mentors. So we can provide mentors for you regardless what your business is and what stage it is, because if we don't have someone in the Cleveland office who has a background in your business, we can find somebody among the other 10,000 who will. So we have many different types of clients. At the current time, over 50% of our clients are women, 10% are entrepreneurs, and some of them are both women and veterans. We have a lot of Hispanic and Black women particularly, and we're excited to work with all of them. So we provide mentoring one-on-one, or sometimes we bring in additional expertise if your particular business warrants it. We're mostly doing mentoring via Zoom or Google Meets, but we are beginning to do some in-person mentoring. We do workshops as we are doing tonight, and hope that those will give you additional information to help you on your way. And then we have a resource portal, our website, cleveland.score.org, which has many, many resources and tools available to you. We are free because we get supported by the Small Business Administration and also by many local businesses that want to support entrepreneurship in Cleveland. This is our website. It's a snapshot. If you go here and click on this, you can fill out a short form that telling us exactly what kind of business you have and what kind of mentoring you would like. If you fill that out, we will match you with a mentor who should be able to help you. Again, we have our upcoming workshops here, plus we are recording all of our workshops, and they will be on our website as well. If you browse the library, you'll find many different articles and blogs, plus many tools and templates. So there are templates for business plans, marketing plans, and so forth. So take some time and go and take a look at the website. So I think that's all I have to say, and I'm going to stop sharing and let Miss Lindsay take over. So go to it.
Thank you. And you guys, when I first started my business, SCORE was one of the first places that people recommended to me. And I just got so much help. And it was so great to talk to people who had experience and who could understand what I was going through. And also, when you're first getting started, well, at least for me, I don't know about y'all, but for me, I was getting started and I didn't know anything. I was coming from academia. I was very young still, even though a lot of people wouldn't consider me to be that young at the time, but I was still in my 20s and I started my business, and it was so helpful to have SCORE as a partner when I was getting started. So I highly recommend having SCORE mentor, no matter where you are in your journey. It's always useful to have. So there's that. That's my personal little SCORE pitch for you. If you guys could, let us get started by you all telling me in the chat who you are, where you're from. It looks like Melissa's already got us started because she knew I was going to ask. So who you are, where you're from, and what your business is, so that I can get to know you guys and so that I can give you really good examples of like all the things we're going to talk about. So we're going to go through. If you've been here before, which I recognize so many of your names, some of you are absolute, people who've been here before. You are familiar. You are my friends in the internet. I use your businesses as examples. And so go ahead and put those businesses in the chat so that I can talk specifically about how Dianca can use e-commerce for her business, right? So if you give me that information, then I can give you specific help and information and give you more kind of details, right? So let us jump forward and get started, because I'm going to have to share there we go. I'm like, where's my tab? There it is. So let me go back a couple tabs because I must have jumped the gun and got started before. So this is our workshop today. We're going to talk all about selling online with e-commerce tools. There are so many tools available. I am an avid chat user, by the way. So as we're going through the workshop, feel free, use the chat. It is your friend. I actually am good at looking at the chat and all that stuff as we're going along. So you can, I think we're in workshop format, Julie. So yeah, you're good. Your camera and your audio are turned off. So you can just sit back and relax and see. This is what I mean. I'm good. I can read the comments and talk to you guys. So put that stuff in the comments. If you have a question as we're going along, put the question in the chat, because I am very good at listening to the chat by, looking at the chat and also continuing our conversation here. So I'm Lindsay. I am your Ohio Grow with Google Digital Coach. And for anyone who is not in Ohio, I am your personal, we have someone in Colorado. I am your personal Grow with Google Digital Coach right now in this moment. And I am here to help you grow your business using whatever tools are available. So I always say, Google tools, sure, but we're going to talk about some tools that aren't Google tools today, and you can use those too. So whatever tools are available, I'm here for whatever is going to help you grow your business. So let's jump into it. So first of all, why sell online? There are definitely a few of you, I'm seeing the businesses already where you're not exactly an online business. Maybe there's something else that you sell or something else that you do, like you're an esthetician or something, and you're like, why would I need to sell online? Because I'm an esthetician. What does that look like to me? Well, this is why. 60%. So shoppers go to the internet first in 60% of shopping occasions. So even if they are going to buy something in person, a lot of times they use the internet to find out information about it. So 6% of shopping starts online, but it is actually driving those in-store purchases. So people aren't just going online and then buying online. And if you think about it, you've probably had a very similar experience, right? Where you are yourself looking at something online, shopping, using the air quotes there, shopping online, but that you're actually going to go and pick that thing up in the real world. This is the case for most people. So a global survey found that 45% of shoppers are buying online and picking up in store. So even if you do have people who are buying online, we have a bunch of people who are looking online first, maybe even buying online, but they still want to have that personal interaction. I can tell you based on the data, this is like almost 100% COVID, right? This is a COVID backlash. We were inside and then we didn't want to be inside no more. And so everybody, even if they are shopping online, they are shopping for something online and they want to go pick it up in person. And so we want to make sure that we are having a good e-commerce experience for people, even if that primary purchase that people are going to make is going to 50% of the time be in person. So you can't neglect the internet just because you have an in-person business, okay? 85% or 58% of purchases were something that shoppers saw online. I don't know about you, but there is a whole hashtag out there called TikTok made me buy it. It's actually my little sister's 15 years old, and she constantly tells me, oh, they stole that from TikTok, whatever the people, she'll be talking about something like, shoes or whatever that are at DSW. And I'm like, excuse me, DSW did not take this idea from TikTok. TikTok took it from DSW because the reality is that whole TikTok made me buy it. We were doing that before with Facebook and Instagram and Pinterest. There are all these things that we see in the internet, and then we get prompted and we go and make a purchase online or in person, right? That is something that absolutely just happens, right? And so we need to be considering our customer and how they are interacting with us, how they are interacting with the data, because that interaction is more and more both, right? They're interacting with us and they're interacting with the internet. And so because they're doing both, we kind of have to be in both places. That being said, where exactly can your product show up online? So several of you, again, you have, like, I see Catherine here who is saying she is exclusively at farmers markets and things like that. So if Catherine was to get online and actually start selling her stuff online, where exactly could her product show up? Well, if we go through the motions that we're going to go through today, we're going to talk about all the different ways to show up. In the end, you could show up on your Google business profile, Google search, Google images, Google Lens, Google ads, and your shopping tab, which is free. Only in the US, though. I mean, it's only available in the US for right now, but I'm betting it's going to be global in no time. So we have all of these places that we can show up, and some of it's actually pretty easy. So we're going to talk about how to catch that low-hanging fruit first, and then we'll go from there and talk about all the other fun things you can do. So first things first is your Google profile. So this, I'm going to address everyone in here who has a service-based business. So we got Kiana, who has a tutoring business, Tasha, who has a logistics company. A lot of that is service, right? Logistics is a service, meaning that it is consumed at the same time that it is being delivered, right? So you're delivering logistics and consuming logistics at the same time. With estheticians, so we have, I think it was Christina, you're an esthetician. You are giving the esthetician services at the same time someone is receiving them. That is a service. Oftentimes we think with service-based businesses that we can't have like online shopping, or we can't have an online experience because people have to consume our thing in person. They have to get it directly from us. That's not true. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how and why that is something that we don't need to worry about. So the first thing we're going to talk about is your Google business profile. This is for everybody, again, whether you have a product-based business or a service-based business. And again, if you're new, because there are a few people who've shown up, go ahead, put in the chat who you are, what your business is, and where you are in the world, because I'm nosy. I want to know where you are. Okay. So, so put all that information in the chat. First things first, before we jump into that Google digital profile, that Google profile, what you need to do is sign into your Google account. Now, this might seem like an obvious thing, and maybe you're thinking, who signs out of their Google account? Because I know I don't. But what the real thing is that you should see here is that you need to sign into the correct Google account. So let me show you what I mean by correct Google account. I am going to Google my own business so that you can see my Google business profile. And then I can show you what it looks like if I'm not logged in under the right account. So if I Google predictable results marketing, it comes up because I've Googled it several times recently. You see my Google profile. So this is me. This is my Google profile. Let me click out of that. This is my profile over here. And this is how I edit my profile. But if I were logged in, I'm currently logged in as my business, but let's say I log in under my digital coach's email. If I'm logged in under my digital coach's email and I search predictable results marketing, I don't get the Google profile. I don't get the ability to access and edit it. I only can see it but I can't edit it. So when we say log in to your Google account, what we're meaning is log into the account that you want to use to manage your Google business profile. Because this account that I'm now logged into, the Digital Coaches with Google account, that's my account that Google gave me to run workshops. Now that I'm logged into that email, I cannot access my business information at all. It's not there. And so a lot of people will come to me after these workshops and they'll say, you guys can't see my screen. Does everybody see my screen? Hopefully you guys can see my screen. Someone let me know if you guys are having a problem seeing my screen. So sometimes people will say, oh, okay, good. Y'all had me nervous. Sometimes people will say, oh no, Google took my Google business profile. I can't access my profile. But what they're really saying is that the email address that they're using, maybe it's the wrong email address, and they need to log in under the correct email address in order to actually see the account. So when I go back to my PRM results email address and I type in predictable, I just did this to show you guys the point. If you're logged in as your real self, then you can actually edit your profile. You have all the access to edit your profile, update it, add things to it. All of that is there if you're logged in under the right email address. So make sure that you're logged into the right email address. When I say the right one, again, air quotes here, I want to make sure that you're logged into the one that you want to manage the account with before you get that account started. Once you start that account, you can add products. So if you are a product-based business, this is pretty easy. The example we have here is the Essential Spice Collection. You can add your spices, you can add all these different products, you can set a price, you can add descriptions, and you can have a buy now button. But if you have a service-based business, you can do the same thing. So with your Google profile, you have products. So I have a membership program that I don't run anymore, so please don't buy this. It actually, if you click on it, it goes to a dead page. But I could add any number of products. So if I wanted to say we had Anita just give us an example. If I had a marketing plan template that I wanted to sell, I could sell that product on my Google business profile. Now I offer marketing services, so I could also, in addition to that product, I could head over to services and also add a service. Now, if I wanted to have a service that people paid for, I would need to put that under products. So as an example, again, I'll use Terry as an example. So with Terry, real life events, videography, if Terry wanted to add a video package that was say a 2-hour in studio, small business video package where you get full editing, blah, 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 all the details for it says Reels. So I'm going to say for Instagram Reels, he has a video package. He could actually put that video package in here under products. How would he do that? He would add a product and he would just say Instagram Reels video package. He would give it a category. These categories are created by you. So if he wanted to create a category called Instagram, so that category means that everything that goes in that category is going to be related to Instagram video. He could put a price in here. Let's say this package is $350. And then he would describe this package, tell you how many videos, how long the shoot lasts, what perks he's offering, all that. So he has 1,000 characters. You can describe tons of things in 1,000 characters. And then the beautiful thing is, if Terry has this product, and I say Terry could be a she. If Terry has this product on their page, then they are going to then go over to their website, copy the link where someone could buy that package on their website where there's more information and all that. They're going to pop this right in here. And then you're going to add a photo of your product, which is that Instagram Reels package. Maybe you created a picture in Canva about that. You're going to add that here, and then you're going to hit publish. And as soon as you hit publish, it's going to show up. I'm going to discard the changes. It's going to show up like this. So when someone clicks on it, they have the image, they have the description, they have the price, they have the link to where to join, all of that right there inside of your page. So this mostly works well if you have a productized service, meaning you are offering something that is very closely wrapped, meaning, again, like I said, the number of videos, the amount of time the shoot is going to last, all of that stuff is tight. If you're offering that, then you can put it in as a package. And if you have esthetician services that are very specific, you can also add those types of things in there. But if you have a service that requires booking, so if I go back to the esthetician example, then we might use bookings instead of services or products. So the reason why we would do that, and this might work for Terry as well, you would do that if you don't want people to buy a bunch of stuff that you can't fulfill because you are the only person in your business who delivers the service. So if Christina is the only esthetician in her business, she might not want to sell 100 esthetician packages, because even though that money is going to look great in her wallet, she is now going to have to figure out how to deliver 100 esthetician packages. And so what she might do instead is actually set up a booking link. A booking link can go to a paid service. So if you use Calendly or Acuity Scheduling, or what is it, Vigero, or any of these other booking services that you can actually take money and like take payment, then you can actually set up your booking link on here. And I've worked with a landscaping company that did this, where they have a booking link on their Google business profile so that someone can actually book time to have him come and do a landscape estimate, because he does landscape packages for people. And so that is a really, really good way of actually getting your content out there if you have a booking service, a service that needs to be booked by time, because you are only, like, maybe even if it's 2 or 3 of you in your business, and if you would get overwhelmed if people book too many services at once. So you have the option of booking as well. Picture sizes. Okay, Melissa, this is definitely a challenge. So Melissa is saying picture sizes are all over the place. I will give you my #1 cheat code for picture sizing for Google, which is always a square. Squares are your friend. And if you just go with the standard 1080 by 1080, 1080 pixels. So 1080 by 1080, which is the same size as the old-fashioned Instagram post. If you go with that size, you'll be good. So these pictures that I have in mind, these are 1080 by 1080. Like, keep it standard. It'll be big enough for people to see, but it also sized down pretty well. Rectangles are a problem. Don't use them. Just use a square. Don't try to worry about anything else. So as you see here, we have this nice square image here that you can add into your Google business profile, as long as it's big enough. The problem Melissa might be running into, or that maybe any of you have run into when you were creating a product image, is that the product image that you use on your website might be 400 by 400 or 200 by 200, which is going to look really, really small inside of your Google profile. So you might want to go into Canva and have them resize that image for you. Not literally, but you would do that. Resize that image. There's also some software out there that helps you resize that image as well, right? So yes, your website is linked on your Google business profile. Obviously, like mine is. My website is linked. It is right here. But my website, Christina, is one big old wasteland where people can get lost. People can get lost on your website. And so you don't want to have, oh yeah, sure, my products are already on my website. I don't need to put them anywhere else. No. Google is giving you the opportunity to use their platform to actually get more people to see your products without ever landing on your website. So there are people who will never click on your website because, well, a number of reasons. Maybe they don't know you very well, and maybe your website isn't the first one that shows up. Maybe it's the 3rd, 4th, 6th, 10th one that shows up. And so if you have your products in your Google business profile, if someone finds you on the map, if someone finds you in a variety of other ways, your products are actually featured now. Instead of them having to go to your website to see it, they actually see your products and services before they even hit your website. They see them in search. It's amazing. And so we really want to do that. We want to make those products show up outside of our website so that they get more visibility. Okay, so this is what it shows up like. Like I said, you have the ability to create this content over inside of your Google profile. And the thing that they're showing here that I want you to note is that if you have pricing variability, so again, I'm thinking about Terry, right? Terry has this photo business. Maybe there's a 2-hour package and a 3-hour package for Instagram Reels. At this 2-hour package might be, let's say, $400, and the 3-hour package might be $500. You can actually put between $400 and $500 in your price. You can actually put that in there. So if you have a price range, you can put a price range. You don't have to put a fixed number. And then that link is going to take them to the website where they can find out more information. Okay. Sarah, it is completely free to do this. Nothing I am going to show you, with one exception. Nothing else costs money. So this is completely free. So everything that I just showed you how to do costs you $0. Even adding a booking link, everything is free. Google wants you to win the search. They absolutely do. They want you to win. They want small businesses to win. They want a more competitive internet. And so if you are out there as a small business owner and you are ready to get started, this is your time, because these barriers to entry are so low now. You don't have to know how to do anything. You just got a really small square of the internet, but now that little square of the internet that you have can be seen everywhere, and it is amazing. Okay, and so we're gonna talk more about some more free options for you, because this is your lowest hanging fruit. This is the first thing you should do. Some of you are gonna ask, Lindsay, you told us all this stuff. What can we do first? This is the first thing. This is probably even the most important thing, because this actually does impact your ability to get found in search. So if you have a good, robust business profile, your Google, as it used to be called, your Google My Business profile, it is now just your Google Business profile. If you have a really good Google Business profile, you can get found. It makes it so much easier. So fill it out, get your products in there. Let me give you an example. If you have 970 products, you do not need to get them all in your Google profile. Instead, you want to maybe take the time over time. You don't have to do this all in one day, to get maybe your top 50. Get those in your Google profile. It's going to be amazing. It's just amazing what it can do to have your products in your Google profile. Now, when you move forward past the Google profile, once you have that stuff in there in your Google profile, the next step is to get your stuff in your Google Merchant Center. Your Google Merchant Center is the place. It is amazing what this place can do. So your Google Merchant Center, it takes all the information from your store that you have online. So again, if you are, doing any sort of e-commerce at all, it takes the information from your e-commerce store and it makes it available everywhere in Google. Everywhere in the internet, essentially. So then that way, again, people don't have to come to your website in order to find you. So right now, people with us being small businesses, people kind of have to know who Marty is. We have to know what Empower Golf is in order to find Marty. But with your Google Merchant Center, if I'm simply looking for golf tees and Marty has his information inside of a Google Merchant Center, then I can actually find Marty that way. So what does it look like? It looks like this. It looks like you showing up in search results in the top. Now, this says ads, and this is actually an old screen, because nowadays what Google is doing is actually making priority in the search for shopping. The priority is not actually ads anymore. So it's amazing. You can see, even if you don't pay for ads, because ads, which I think was somebody who asked, who was it asked that, does this pay for Sarah? Is this free? Everything but ads is free. Ads is the only thing you have to pay for. But I don't want you to start trying to pay for ads, because you have other ways of getting found. So you can get found in search, you can get found in shopping, and you can get found in Google Images. Now, this is the crazy thing. So this example of a product that is getting found in all these different ways, let me show you what that looks like. So I use this example all the time. So if anyone who's been in any of my workshops where I do a product search, you will know what search I'm about to do, which is the apple red bridesmaid's dress. Because when my mother was getting married, she was like, I want y'all to be in apple red's bridesmaids dresses. Now, y'all know the words apple red don't mean nothing. Like, what does an apple red look like? What kind of apple are we talking about? What breed? I don't know. And so she was just like, that was what she kept saying though. And so, mind you, I'm getting married in a couple weeks, and I'm telling everybody emerald green as if those words mean anything either. It's hilarious how colors don't mean anything. And so I had to go into the internet and type in apple red bridesmaids dresses. And when I did, I actually used the search. So I used this little image search here because it made my life so easy. But before, when my mother was getting married 2 years ago, this wasn't even that long ago, this was the only thing available, the shopping ads. And now Google has made the entire, oh, thank you, Cecilia. They have made the entire process diplomatic. So now, yes, we got the shopping ads right here. But as soon as I scroll, all of this right here is free, completely free. And how do people get their dresses in here? We have an eBay dress, second owned, pre-owned David's bridal dress. We got an Azazi pre-owned on Poshmark. We got another eBay. We have firsthand from David's bridal. These images are showing up because of the Google Merchant Center. Now, if I head over to the image tab up here at the top, when I come over here, you see that price, you see the location, that's sponsored. As soon as I scroll down, everything here is for sale. And because this one has a little tag next to it and the in stock, Google is actually starting to do this thing now where they are labeling things according to their stock availability. Y'all, this makes our lives easier just as shoppers. And so now if you're looking for an apple red bridesmaid's dress and you need to be in a wedding in like 2 weeks, you don't want to wait, you can't have it customized, you can actually look and see what is in stock and available right now. That is the power of the Google Merchant Center. So you can show up in shopping, you can show up in images, you can show up in a lot of other places we'll get to. So this is why I want you to be in your Google Merchant Center. The other thing for all of you who can see my camera, I'm going to show you my home screen on my phone. And you see down there in the corner, there is a microphone and then a little a little camera. Actually, it looks kind of like a camera, a little camera looking thing there. That is Google Lens. Google Lens is evolving very, very fast. Google Lens is a brand new property from Google. And when I say brand new, it's probably been around for a few years, but it wasn't good at first. And now Google Lens is amazing. You can now, if you're out in the world and you have that little search bar on your phone with that little camera, you can point your phone at something, type that, like tap that little camera, point your phone at it, and it will tell you where you can find that thing. That is so powerful. So now if somebody, especially if you sell a product, oh goodness, now anyone who's out in the world and who sees your shoes, the dress that someone's wearing that they love, or whatever that thing is, like this one as an example, fenugreek, someone takes a picture of that or actually just points their camera at it now and asks Google to search for that product, they'll be able to find it. They'll be able to find you. That is amazing. And so now that availability is coming online and you can use it. You personally, with $0 spent, can do this. And so I want us to all be showing up. Now, if you want to do ads, more power to you. We'll talk about that in a second. But Google Ads, just like I showed you here, if we go back over to the All tab and we look at those sponsored posts, those are your ads. You can show up there. Sorry, let me get all my keyword research out of the way here. You can show up here if you pay for the ad space. But I don't really want you to prioritize paying for ads right now. I really want you to prioritize all of the free things you can do because there are plenty of free things. There is an order here. So first order is update your Google business profile with your products, period. That's your first step. The second step is to go over to the Google Merchant Center, create an account, upload some products, and they show up on Google. It's actually really simple. You can go to g.co/merchant center. When you type that in, it's going to redirect you. So I'm going to type it in real quick, g.co/merchant center. And it's going to redirect you to the Google Retail Merchant Center. Now, once you are here, you can sign up for your free account. It is, when it says sign up for free, It always stays free. This is not something you have to eventually pay for. It is free. It is also where the ads live, though. So if you're going to run Google Shopping ads, you would run them from inside of this platform. So that's why it says sign up for free, just in case anyone's like, but that's where you do ads too. You can do ads too, but you do not have to do ads in order to use the Google Merchant Center. Just so that we're clear, no ads required. You can do it for free. So you're going to enter in some of your business information, and then you have the option to add your products. This is a cool thing that's available. You can have your products from your website. So if you are, again, back to Marty as an example, if you're Marty and you have a website and you have the tees for your Empower Golf tees, you have those tees on the website already in the e-commerce store. You can link your Google merchant account to your website and just have them go straight to your website. Or you could have Google actually run your checkout process. So that comes with a fee, but it is completely possible for Google to run it. That way, the person never even has to go to your website in order to get those tees. They can order them immediately and not have to go to your website. Or you can actually direct them to your local store. So this would be for people who have some more service-based businesses or productized services, or even if you are what we like to call click and mortar. So I have a few businesses that I've worked with here in the Google Digital Coaches space where they have a boutique that is an in-person physical boutique, but they also have a very robust e-commerce store. So you could choose whether you want to send people to your e-commerce store or if you want to send people to your in-person store. And when I say or, the reality is that you can choose and. So then someone who is living very far away will just see the option to buy it on your website, but anybody who's in, 1.2 miles will get the option to actually come to you physically to buy it. So this is really useful for the e-commerce store that I was just mentioning, because that person is in Warren, Ohio. And although Warren is not far away, I actually bought my wedding dress from Warren, Ohio, a beautiful little wedding shop there. It is not close. It is an hour in my car every time I have to go try that dress on. And so if you want to give people the option, then you would keep the option for at your local store there, but you would want it to show up only when people are in a certain radius of your store so that they're not going, oh, sure, I'll go pick that up. And it's a box of cupcakes and it takes them an hour to get there. That's a little bit disappointing. Okay? So we don't want people to have that experience. And then, okay, so I've already mentioned you can send people to your store on your personal website that you have. You can have them check out on Google, and you can have them come to your in-person physical store and check out using your checkout system. But if you have a tool like Shopify or BigCommerce, WooCommerce, there's a bunch of them now. Wix, I think, actually is available. You can actually connect your website directly to Google. So now you don't have to do much of anything. So a lot of the steps that I just talked about go away. In the chat, I want you guys to tell me if you have an e-commerce store right now, what platform are you using? Are you on Wix or, again, Shopify, WordPress, WooCommerce? What are you using right now for your website? And I'm going to ask because I want to kind of go through what kind of options are available depending on your website type is. Thank you. Okay, so we got Sarah and Melissa are on Wix. I am also a Wix girl myself, like you guys. So electronic merchant systems, Jasmine, that sounds fancy. I don't know about that system. We will have to, y'all are on all sorts of interesting things. Uni, Squarespace, that's one I know. I'm familiar with Squarespace. Oh, GoDaddy. Oh, Sherry, baby, we got to get you off GoDaddy. That's just my own personal preference. So I'm a little bit of a Wix snob, if you can imagine, because as Julie just said, Wix is great. Wix is amazing. No apologies necessary. You do you, baby. You do you. Okay. So the anatomy of the Merchant Center. The Merchant Center is actually really, really easy to use. It is super simple. The only thing that people get stuck on is that the Merchant Center is very transparent. What that means is that it tells you if there are errors or anything else going on in your account. It just tells you. And that can be a little bit of a challenge for people because you might get some errors. You might not know how to fix them. And I understand that. So I'm just going to tell you what I usually do if people are interested in getting onto the Merchant Center. You guys have access to my email. I'm the Google Digital Coach for Ohio. So there's that. You can reach out to SCORE if you want my email address, because I don't have the ability to put it in chat right now. But you can reach out to me if you're trying to get out on the Google Merchant Center and you can't for one reason or another. Let me know. I'm really good at walking people through getting past your errors, because once you do get past your errors, you get all sorts of amazing information. Verifying your business is very easy if you already have Google Analytics. So if you already have Google Analytics on your website, it's just a matter of 2 clicks and you're verified. If you don't have Google Analytics on your website, honestly, this is my answer: get Google Analytics on your website first, because all you have to do is get Google Analytics on your website is to type in, like, Google how to add Google Analytics to Squarespace, how to add Google Analytics to Electronic Merchant Center. So once you add the Google Analytics to your Electronic Merchant Center, then you come back to your merchant account on Google and you connect the two. Now, remember back in the beginning when I said, what email address are you using? So your Google Merchant Center, your Google Business Profile, your Google Analytics, all of them use the same email address. That's my one and only Lindsay commandment. Use the same email address, because if you use the same email address, these accounts all talk to each other very easily. But if you use a different email address for one thing and then the other and then the other, Google doesn't know that you are that person on all 3 of those accounts. So as much as you might be like, but it says Lindsay on each of them, honey, you are not the only Lindsay. I know I have the most common name on the planet for women born after 1980. And so like, it's spelled Lindsay is regular. My mama just pronounces it phonetically. So extremely common name. I can't even pretend like I'm the only one. And because I can't pretend like I'm the only one, I have to make sure I'm using the same email address on each of those platforms, because I don't expect for Google to know it's me. No. And so you use the same email address so that Google can verify from one account to the next. They can use your Google Analytics to verify your Google Merchant Center, to verify your Google business account. They can do all of that if you're using the same email address. Okay. So once you are in your Google Merchant Center, you have it verified and you're getting yourself set up, you get to add in your products. Now, if you're going to add them individually, it is not hard at all. It's actually pretty easy to do. It's just time consuming. So using Terry as an example again, if you are Terry and you are thinking about doing a couple of packages that you're going to sell, then it's simple. You just add those packages in, you add the pricing, and you add a link for people to buy. That's not hard. But there are some of you that look like you could have a business with a lot of products, like the teas. Like you could have Marty could have 200 products on their website. And so if you're going to have 200 products, then you are not going to want to add those individually, right? That's not something you're interested in. So there are 2 things you can do. The first thing is to use Google Spreadsheet. So they actually have a Google Sheet that has all of the information that you would need for all of your products. And it has the ability for you to fill all that information in and then essentially upload it back to Google Merchant Center. So now all that information is in the Google Merchant Center from the spreadsheet. But the smarter way to do it, see, here we go, upload it, you can do that. The smartest way to do it is to not do any of that at all. There's what it looks like. Once you're up, this is what you get access to all of these things once you're in your Google Merchant Center: Google Lens, Google Images, Google Ads, Google Shopping, and Google Search. It's amazing. This is why I keep advocating that you do it. But I don't want you to do it the hard way, because what I just showed you was the hard way. The easy way is Shopify. Except for nowadays, it doesn't just have to be Shopify. You can use any number of merchant accounts now. So every single one of you who had one that I had never heard of before, like Ueni, I'm still Dianca. I'm still like, what is that? And so just because you have Ueni, that's great. Go and see if Ueni is one of the businesses that is now allowed, because this whole thing started with Shopify, but Shopify is not the only business now that they actually do this with, right? So can Google, Tom, great question. Can Google Merchant Center be used for service only businesses? Yes. The answer is that your service needs to be priced for product, meaning that it has to be discrete. So in the example that I used earlier with Terry, the product would need to be 2-hour video shoot under these exact parameters. If you can wrap it in a bow and sell it discreetly, then yes, you can put it in your Google Merchant Center. It just needs to be something that's very specific. The challenge with doing a product that you have to deliver, which is a service, product delivery, you're going to still have to schedule that. So if someone makes that purchase, they find the product on the Google Merchant Center, which is totally possible. They find it, they click on your website. Now it needs to have the ability for them to schedule themselves as well, because clearly they're going to want to redeem that service. And so whatever services you're offering using the Google Merchant Center, you want to make sure that they are redeemable on your website using some sort of scheduling. That's it. That's my only caveat. There's nothing that says you can't do it. So yes, Tom, get your service businesses out there. And a lot of people nowadays, Tom, part of what I personally have done this, and I've seen other people do it. I love Shopify, even though I am a Wix girl. I'm a Wix girl because Wix is simple and it's cheap. And so if you are in transition, you're not sure what kind of website you want, Wix is so affordable. It makes it really easy to like get your website started, and then you can kind of figure out where you want to go from there. Shopify, on the other hand, is also relatively inexpensive. It only kind of gets expensive when you start adding on things, right? And so I'm like, no, I have to add things on. I'm going to get away from Shopify. But Shopify was amazing when I was first starting, and I did have my services available on Shopify. So I had subscription education packages on Shopify, all sorts of things. And I would just put the dates that were associated with them so that someone knew if you're buying this package, it was for this educational program that lasted during this period of time. So you just have to get specific, okay? I think Tom gets it, but I hope everyone else, as I know there's a bunch of other service businesses in here, just got to make it specific. Yes, Kiana, so you can have your Calendly. So if you want to, massive cheat code here. So if you have a 75-minute tutoring session that you want to put into your Google Merchant account, then you can get that in there and then use the link where you're sending people, use Calendly. That also works. The challenge there, just so that you're aware, the challenge is that people are like, as much as you and I, Kiana, know what Calendly is and we love it, there are plenty of people who don't know what it is and would not understand that. So you would want to use some link to a website that would explain what the 75-minute session is about, like give it more detail, and then send someone to Calendly from there, because then they can pay and you can schedule at the same time. So what Shopify is doing is kind of democratizing e-commerce. They are helping millions, this 1 million, please. There are over 1 million merchants in 175 plus countries, selling over 155 billion with a B worth of products and services using Shopify. And this is old data. They are amazing. And a lot of people who had brick and mortar businesses where they didn't have websites are finally starting to move over to Shopify. As I've already said, this is not a Shopify commercial. I love Shopify, but if you are using some other platform, the point is to make your products and services accessible and available to people, okay? That's what we're aiming at. So if you are going to use Shopify, you would just sign up for a Shopify account. And then when you go to add your products to Google, it's really simple, but for everyone who's ever run into this problem, I want you to listen closely. You connect your account differently than you would expect. When you are in Shopify, you go to sales channel and you hit the plus button. When you hit the plus button, you're going to get add a sales channel, and Google is in here, as are Pinterest, Facebook, Instagram. There's a bunch of stuff in here. They don't want you to get distracted, so it's just Google, but there's a bunch of stuff in there. You're just going to go to the Google one. You can hit the plus button. The plus button is going to connect your Google, your business, your Shopify account to the Google Business Merchant Center that you created. If you don't have a Google Merchant Center account, it will create one for you. Where do we have a problem then? Well, we have a problem because when you created your Shopify account, you created it at tmayola@yahoo.com. And that's what you run your Shopify store under. That tmayola@yahoo.com, great, works perfectly for running your Shopify account. But now that you're going to start your Google Merchant Center, Google Merchant Center does not play well with other email services. So you're going to try to get it started that way, and you're either going to run into it telling you no, or it'll start it and then you'll never be able to find it because it technically doesn't exist. And I don't know how to fix this except for me to tell you all who are here, the real answer is to start your Google Merchant account specifically before you connect it to Shopify. So even if you have Shopify right now and you are excited, you are already in Shopify right now, trying to figure out how to do this. Yes, but create that merchant center first. Do the first step that I showed you first. Before you ever go to add any products in there, just create that merchant center. Note what email address you're using, because then when you go to log in, it's going to say connect your Google account, and you're going to connect the exact Google account that you use to create your merchant center. And now you will be fine, and you will always be able to find it. You won't have to use Shopify to log in. You can use your email address to log in, and everything is beautiful and everything is awesome and it's great. But if you do it the other way, where you kind of let the Shopify account create the Google Merchant Center for you, I have seen all sorts of bad things happen where people had to delete their merchant account because it wasn't connected properly. So you do not want to let Shopify create that account for you. You want to create it yourself using your own hands and email addresses and logins and all that. Create it yourself and then connect it to, even if you are going to let Shopify populate that account with all your information. When I say Shopify here, replace Shopify with whatever service you're using. Wix, Squarespace, Udemy, whatever you're using, XXO, whatever you're using, replace the word Shopify for that. You're still going to create your Google Merchant Center first, okay? And Jasmine, it doesn't matter whether it's a business email address. I should say that in advance. It could be, like for me, it's Lindsay at PRM Results. That's my main email address. But if I wanted to use any of those other email addresses you saw, I can use any of them. It doesn't quite matter. I can use my personal email address. The only thing you want to know is which email address you're using, because the thing that matters most is which account, because the one that you're using is the one you're going to come back to over and over and over again to sign into all of your accounts. And so you have to use that same email over and over and over again. So you don't want to use one that you never check, or, oh my God, I haven't checked that email since I was 20 and in college. Don't use that one. Use a real account that you always check and that you're going to have access to, because that's the account that's going to run all of these properties that we're talking about. Okay, so once you have that set up, where you have the Google Merchant Center set up, you got your Shopify, Wix, Udemy, Squarespace account set up. Now you're going to connect the two and you're going to sync your products. Now, for most of these accounts, once you connect the two, it automatically starts syncing them for you. And again, this is completely free. So you're going to have it set up. You're going to connect your accounts. You're going to sync your accounts. Once you sync your product feed, this is what it looks like. Oh, well, it's not going to show me what it looks like. Let me show you what it looks like, because you guys, I can't stand it. So I'm going to give you a Google Merchant Center tour, because I always have to do a little bit of show and tell. Oh, I always do that. Let me just type in g.co. There we go. I always type it in just merchant. It's Merchant Center, and that's the reason why I always type it in wrong. So let me sign in to Google Merchant Center, and we'll see which account comes up, because I have no idea. Okay, so we have an account that came up. And so with this account, this is the inside of your Google Merchant Center. This is what it looks like. It tells you if there's any missing information. It tells you if you have disapprovals. It tells you if you have any ads running, all that jazz. It tells you everything. In the product section earlier, I told you that you could have issues with things being approved or disapproved. It'll let you know if you have any issues with things that are not being approved, all of that available. It tells you if you have your products in there, it tells you all of your product information, the prices, how many clicks they're getting, if they're active, in what countries they're active, what languages people can see them in. All of that information is available inside of your Google Merchant Center. And adding products is very simple. So remember, I said that you can add a product one at a time. So if you want to one at a time it, you go into add a product and you can just type in information here. Now, for everyone who saw earlier that you could get that apple red bridesmaid's dress that was secondhand on eBay. Let me see if I can find it again. Let me go down here. Here we go. Secondhand on eBay. This is a person who is using the Google Merchant Center. You can't have this if you're not using the Google Merchant Center. So that's a person. But how do you mark that your dress is secondhand or things like that? That's in the product information. And in the product information, if there is a brand like that dress, it's David's Bridal, fill in the blank, whatever. So you would put that David's Bridal in there. So for anyone who does have an account, like you have a secondhand business or a business that sells secondhand products, you can still sell your secondhand products inside of the Google Merchant Center, but you do not want to try to sell them without acknowledging the brand name that they are associated with. So if you're selling secondhand Nikes, you need to put the word Nike in the description in the brand. If you don't, they will not show your products. It will come up as an error. And the reason for that is because, well, they can tell they have an image algorithm, as they have with everything, where they can kind of tell what's in the image. And if the image is of a brand name and you don't brand name associate, they won't show it to people because they will assume that you're trying to commit fraud, meaning that you're selling fakes, knockoffs, other kind of, again, fraud. And so you want to make sure you're adding that brand name in there so that you are not accused by Google of committing fraud, because that's why they would then disapprove you. The other reason why you might get disapproved, I'm going to answer your question in a second, Pebbles. The other reason why you might get disapproved is if you have a product that has a claim to it that is like a health claim or something like that. So if you sell a product that has essential oils in it and you're like, this will help you feel calm and relaxed because lavender, blah, 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 they won't necessarily let you post that either because it can't have a medical claim to it. I mean, I guess you could say that you feel relaxed, but you can't say it's like a sedative or something like that. You can't use medical language because if you do, it's going to disapprove you. So there's a few reasons why you might not get approved. If that's happening, it's usually in this little section here where there's something about the language that you're using to describe your product that is either doesn't have enough information or it has the wrong kind of information. And then all you have to do in order to get that product found is fix that thing and then it will get found. Okay. So it's a really simple system. It just feels complicated to a lot of people. Now, one last thing, and then I'll get to questions. If for some reason you don't have SKUs, you don't have an ISBN, GTN, UPN, or SKU, some sort of thing that people can scan in order to buy your product, which, since a lot of you sell services, you will not have a SKU. All you need to do for this product identifier section is say, no, I don't have one. So you do not have to have SKUs. You don't have to have ISBNs. So if you are an author and you're in this chat here and you want to start selling your books online, you can sell your books even without an ISBN now. So you don't even have to go buy an ISBN. You can list your book inside of your Google Merchant Center for free without an ISBN. Amazing, right? So this is the idea. I want you guys to get the idea of all the things that you can do. So should you still purchase Wix as a business account? I don't see why not. Yes. So you can connect, as far as I know, you can connect your Wix account with your Google Merchant Center. You can export your products. There's all sorts of ways to connect things. And all you need to do, if you want to know exactly what to do, and this is going to sound dumb, but truthful, Google it. So you will Google connect Wix to Google Merchant Center if you can't find it inside of the Wix platform, because it's absolutely available. Okay. So once you get all this stuff done and you want to get a little bit better, then I want you to go to g.co/growmystore. On g.co/growmystore, they're going to give you all sorts of tutorials about your specific website and how to make it better. There are lots of other videos on YouTube where this video is actually being streamed live right now. Lots of other videos on the Grow with Google YouTube channel where you can get information about growing your business, using YouTube, there's some Canva workshops up there, all sorts of cool stuff available on YouTube. You can actually see me because I'm one of the people who presents on YouTube as well, and on the Grow with Google YouTube channel. And I always love seeing my local Ohioans in the chat on those telling me that I'm representing Ohio well. And then if you are in the process of developing and growing your career, there are also career certificates that are available. And we are more than happy for small business owners to get those career certificates to actually grow their own skills. So if you feel like you need to know more about e-commerce or IT or UX design, feel free to take one of these certificates. They are usually offered through Coursera, which is a wonderful experience, actually. So there's that. Now, before I let you go, because I'm not going to hold you for 2 whole hours, both Anita and I need to eat dinner. So what I want to know in the chat, as always, I want to know what you learned. So tell me what you learned and tell me what's the first thing you're going to do with all of this brand new information. So put that in the chat. And I'm going to start watching the chat to see what you guys are saying. And of course, if you guys have any questions that I haven't answered yet, put them in the chat as well. I will hang around for questions in case you have any. But that is pretty much it. Thank you all so much for all of your help. You're going to add Google Merchant Center, like add your services. It is a good idea. Showing that your product is in stock. It's so useful. And the way they do that is to actually have your store connected to your merchant account for Wix or Squarespace or whatever, because then they can count your stock. So then they know it's in stock. It's amazing. Oh, you want to be able to show your reviews. I got answers for you, Melissa. There's a couple, depending on what you mean by that. I got answers. So let me show you real quick because I still have it open. I still want to see what you guys are going to do. Okay, good. Christina's going to put the booking on her Google Business Profile. It's good that you said that because we're going right back to Google Business Profile. So here we have read reviews. If you have your Google Business Profile up and available and you want to get more reviews, you want people to see your reviews and get more reviews, all you do is go to the reviews section, read reviews, and then there's a little link here. You click on that and you have the ability to copy this link right here where you can actually get people to give you reviews. You can share it on Facebook, WhatsApp, and via email. So that is one more way to be visible with those reviews. So if that is something that you're interested in, this is absolutely one way to get it. And then if you want your reviews to show up on your website, a lot of websites have what is called a widget for your reviews, and all you would do is provide the link to your Google Business Profile, and you would be able to it has like a way for you to type in where your business name is and where it lives on Google, and you can actually pop those reviews in there that way too. So it just depends on what kind of site you have and what their widgets are for your website. Ooh, good. Yes, Pebbles. I want to see those candles in the internet. Okay. I love it. Okay, yeah, so getting that analytics connected. Yes, Kennedy, that is the way to do it. That is the way to just share it with your web person and let them do it. I'm all for that. Okay. Oh, Julie, great question. So I have heard not awesome things about the newsletter service for Wix. And when I would say not awesome, I mean like they have escalating fees, meaning that you might sign up for it, but then eventually end up paying more than you bargained for. So I'm a fan of like MailChimp and things like that because their pricing is pretty straightforward and it's going to take tens of thousands of subscribers before you're paying hundreds of dollars versus with Wix, I think you can end up paying hundreds of dollars without really having 10,000 subscribers, and nobody really wants to be in that position because you want to have a nice large pool of people before you're ever paying significant amount of money for your email services. Okay. I'm glad you guys were helped. Thank you. Cicely, that's great. That's what I want to see. That Google Business Profile, it's a great place to start. Okay. Yeah, Julie, I know it's hard. You gotta do what you gotta do. Okay, well, if that's it, Anita, I'll hand it back to you. Thank you all so much for sharing what you're going to do and what you learned. I appreciate it.
Well, I think that you've thrown a lot of information at everybody. And again, they're going to get a link to the recording and they can go through it as many times as they need to in order to capture all of the information that you've provided. And it's been a wonderful session. We really appreciate your joining us and doing it. And again, congratulations on your upcoming nuptials. And when is that occurring?
April 22nd. I think we have another workshop before I get married.
I think so. So, hey, you should be doing our workshops even as you're trying to plan a wedding, right?
Okay. You know, that's how much I love you guys.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and everybody else enjoy the rest of your evening. And we will see you at our next Lindsay session. So
Bye, guys.
thank you all.